Welcome back to part 6 of creating a 2D platformer using libGDX. Today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be introducing you guys a little to Java's inheritance model because we're going to be using an abstract class, and we are also going to be converting all of our game objects into an array. So we're going to be storing them in an array instead of just individually. So when we left off, we had a program, then we had our three little guys, and they can move left and right by using the keyboard, and I can hit spacebar and he jumps, and that's perfect. So right now we're going to be adding a brick, and he's going to interact with that very, very basically right now. I'm not going to really concentrate too much on collision. We're going to be using the collision that we already have, but we're going to be storing blocks into it. So I'm going to close this out. And what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to go into is we're going to go to Cool Guy, and we're going to open this up, and inside of objects we're going to be creating a brand new class called Game Object. So I'm going to hit finish, and I already happen to have these copied and pasted here, and we are going to be making this an abstract class. So pretty much we're mainly treating this as like an interface, and this needs to be the libGDX version of it, which is right there, boom. And the sprite batch needs to be the libGDX version as well, right there. And this basically sets up a general template for all of our game objects. We have the hits, the actions, the updates, the set position, the move left, the move right, the draw, the jump, and I have a new one called Get Hitbox, which is a little different, and we're not going to be really using it on the Cool Guy object, but we will be using it on pretty much everything else. So when we look at this, we're going to go to Cool Guy. I'm going to kind of show you what this is. So when you're going to be, Cool Guy is a game object. So that's kind of the relationship that we have. Cool Guy needs to have has all the properties of a game object, but it redefines them for us. So for example, we're going to have Cool Guy, and we're going to do extends. This you can think of as is a. So that's kind of how you're going to read it in your mind. So Cool Guy is a game object. Okay. Now, because it's a game object, we'll have unimplemented methods. We pretty much have almost all of them because we built the game object based off of the Cool Guy. But the one that we didn't have is, you just click and right click on there, is Get the Hitbox. And we're just going to return bottom for now. We will do a little bit more stuff with this. But if we hit save here, and we run this, nothing should change. We still have our basic character. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a brick so our character can interact with them. So the first thing we're going to do is going to right click on here, and we're going to do class, and we're going to call this brick. Okay, easy. And brick is or extends a game object. But brick needs its unimplemented methods, and we have everything here. Now, unlike our Cool Guy character, we have brick, we're going to need a public constructor, and we're going to do brick, but this time we are going to be taking an x and a y coordinate of where the brick goes. Alright, we are also going to steal everything that we did on Cool Guy, coming up here, and we're going to steal all this information here and paste it. Now I just don't need all these hitboxes, so we're just going to do hit box, sprite, texture, and my bricks aren't going to be moving right now, so these are pretty much everything I need to know. So the hitbox, we're going to be creating a new hitbox, rectangle, and we're going to have it start at the x and y coordinate, and for these particular hitboxes, they are going to be 64 by 64. Alright, now the texture, we need to actually upload the texture. So I actually have one called blocks right there. You can kind of see it in the corner. Bam, right there, blocks. So we need to add this to the Android asset. So we're going to assets, sprite, and I already have cool guy there. So we're going to take blocks and drag them on over. Bam, it's there. Okay, so we're done with that. So we're going to go to texture equals new texture, and we're going to do gdx.files.internal, and then we're going to do the path of sprite/blocks.png. Easy. The sprite is equal to new sprite, and we're going to do texture, and this doesn't really matter, but we're going to put this anyway. We're going to use the entire texture. I just like getting into that habit. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to do set position, and we are going to be setting the position to X and Y. Easy. So now we come over here to set position, just so we do this for completion. We're going to say hit box.x is equal to X, hit box.y is equal to Y, and we're going to say sprite.setPosition is equal to X and Y. Done. Easy. Save. And the last thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to be drawing, or actually we have two last things, so we have two more things to go here. We do sprite.draw batch. Done. And we're going to come over here to the rectangle, and we are just going to be returning the hitbox. So we just hit return, not null, but hitbox. Save. So that's our hitbox for our brick. So we have so right now, cool guy and brick is a game object, and they all have all these particular methods stored in there. So when we come over into our game itself, we no longer need all this fun stuff. So I'm going to get rid of the other two cool guys. So I'm going to hit save and run this and see what happens. Oops, I have a bunch of errors because I deleted all the player 1s and 2s and 3, but I never deleted them out of all this other stuff. Player 1. So I have to get rid of their draw feature. And did I do anything else? Nope. Alright. So now I saw player 1. He sits right here, and he can move around, jump, and so on. So we're going to have a buggy version of this game, and we are going to be creating an array list. And an array list is actually pretty easy. We can keep on adding to it as much as we can. So inside the cool game, we're going to create a new an array list called ArrayList game object, because it's there. We're going to call it list equals new array list game object. Okay, so all we have to do is import the java.utility and the game object that we just created. So in this case, we can go list.add, and we're going to do game object, and we're going to do new brick, and we are going to put this brick at 0, 0, and we just make sure that we import brick. We'll add a few more bricks here. And I know they're 64 by 64, so I'm just going to move a couple over here. And let's make them go up a little bit. Let's do 256, so we'll have a little bit of space there, and we'll do 128. And one last one, actually I was just copy and pasting them before. Yeah, let's do 3. I'm trying to add in my head 320, 280. Alright, so I hit save there. And to draw these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what we call a for each loop. And we're going to do for, and we're going to do game object t, or yeah, let's do t. And we put a colon there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have the list. Okay, so everything in the list will save in as t, then we'll deal with it, and then we keep on going. So t dot draw batch. Done. Now right here, so that's drawing. Now for updates, we need to update to see if our character hits that. So what we do here is we're going to use exactly the same for loop that we used to draw. Actually, let's just hit save real quick and let's make sure that it prints out fine. Okay, so we have these 2 bricks here, or 3 bricks here, and these 2 bricks here. Perfect. So closing that out. So we come over here and we're going to make the same for loop. Direct t colon list. And what we're going to do here is if player 1 dot hits t dot get hitbox, and that does not equal -1, meaning it hit one of the player 1's hitboxes. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing that we did on the last one. Player 1 action, the type is 1. We don't care about what the x value is, but we do care about where the box is. So we're just going to basically moving the character on the top. So basically we hit the bottom of the bottom box, or his feet, and we want him to be above it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be taking the x and the y coordinate of t, so dot get hitbox dot y plus t dot get hitbox dot height. Okay. Now, once we have that, it should teleport our character to the very, very top and keep him up there. So let's make sure that works. So he's now there. Can we fall down? Boom, we fall down, and we're good to go. And we can jump up here to the top. Now, one thing that you're going to notice is, first off, I can land here, and my hitboxes are a little wider. Okay, that's okay. We're going to trim those up a little bit, and we're going to make it so that his feet are actually a little bit smaller than his sides, because look, his hand sticks out a little bit further than that. You'll also notice that I can't walk under these things. My hitbox hits it, and then I go up. That's okay. We're also going to fix that as well, because we're going to do side collision soon. But right now we're just determining if we hit the bottom, or I'm sorry, if we collide anything, and then we'll move over. So that's as far as I wanted to get for today. I'm going to go then. My next episode is going to be all about doing listening for the mouse or the touches, so you guys can port this over to Android or iOS. And we're also going to be looking at animations. So not really animation of getting him to move, but at least flipping him around so he doesn't look like he's going backwards and forwards. So that's it. Hopefully you guys find this useful, and I will see you guys next time.